Hey guys, and welcome to Night Night with Phee on the Phee Network. Great to see you guys tonight. Glad you're with me. Want you to hit that share and that like button if you can, because folks, it's Monday night and you got not one but two football games on tonight. Pretty strange for this early in the year, but I guess they're just going to figure out how to maximize that revenue every Monday night. I won't be watching tonight because I'll be with you, the viewers, on Night Night with Phee. Glad you guys hope you had a great weekend. We've got a real crazy things going into the world. We changed our Phee show with Manly Mark to once a week for a weekly show for now until we come back after Phase 2 starts. Then we've got Midday Madness with Manly Mark, a weekly show that we will go back to a daily show after we do the same thing. But we're going to continue with Night Night and all of our podcasts as we move into that Phase 2. Then you'll see a lot more programming, a lot more shows that'll be opening back up. I can't wait to do some golf shows. We've been doing our Phee Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru every Thursday night at 6:30 live, and that's been real fun for me. I've enjoyed that. But tonight we're going to talk about You Want to Party Like It's 1999. That's my favorite song of Prince in 1982 when it came out, because I was a senior in high school in 1981 and 1982. So that seemed like a long time in the future to 1999. 17 years. Everybody was singing it. And in my freshman and college year, it was a very popular song also. So can you imagine a bunch of kids singing a song, You Want to Party Like It's 1999 in 1982? And now you look at it and it's 2025, fixing to be 2026. But as those 17 years from 1982 to 1999 evolved, so did a lot of change in the world. Satellite uplinks, wireless communications, and the start of artificial intelligence. And since about 2003, you look at a big push on regenerative medicine. Most people still haven't heard of that, but they're normally 15 to 20 years ahead of you. That way they can get you ready for the product, and they can also make money on their products they have out there now. As long as they have legs and have a shelf life, they'll wait until the public's ready for the next best thing. So from 1999 to 2025, we have come a long ways, both good and bad. But I'll tell you, the younger generation won't remember Y2K. Y2K was a global disaster that was supposed to happen on January 1, 2000, because all of the clocks would not be able to turn from December 31st, 1999. The trains wouldn't run. The planes wouldn't run. The automatic chips, everything that has a computer chip in the world, from the gas pumps to everything, they had survivalist, isolationist, extremist. They had all types of folks selling all kinds of things for the disaster that was going to take place in Y2K. And of course, December 31st, 1999 came, and I was in Memphis, Tennessee, fixing to get ready for my January 1 bowl games. And the clock hit midnight. Everybody said Happy New Year, and nothing happened. But just about a year and 9 months later, 9/11 happened. And what you'll find is that a lot of times people test things, even if they don't think they'll work. They have what they call trials. Well, you just saw it with Cracker Barrel. They want to change the logo. They changed the culture. People weren't ready for it. There was a backlash. They just put it back in the drawer. You saw it 6 months ago now with these drones in the Northeast. How many drones were out there? And you got people used to seeing this many drones, and then all of a sudden, everything disappeared and nobody got hurt. And what were they doing? It just seems to act like it never happened. And so you'll find that Russia just sent some drones over Poland in the last week. What were they doing? They were testing. To see what the response would be. What would they do? Are they trying to entice NATO in order to go to war? Are they trying to find out if they would not do nothing? Because there's chess pieces out on the board now to where you'd have to ask yourself, what are they doing that's just trials that they know people aren't ready for, but they just push a little bit and push a little bit, and then they put it back in the drawer. There's all strategy going on in that. So if you want to party like it's 1999 again in 2025, you have at it, because this world has changed drastically since 1999. And I thought when it was 1982 and Prince came out with Let's Party Like It's 1999, I thought, my goodness, 17 years from now, that's a lifetime. And that is what life is, a vapor. So quick, so unpredictable, from day to day, what's going to happen in your life. I do appreciate you guys sending me these questions, and we'll get to the question portion of the show. Now, if you would like to send a question, please do so at feesme.com. That's PHEESMEE.com. If you'll do that, you'll see a questionnaire on there. You can ask the question, and we'll be glad to read it, and I'll do the best I can to answer it on the air. So thank you guys for these questions as we continue. Phee, when the wrath of God happens and the vials are opened, will the Christians be raptured, and are the plagues globally or in the Middle East only? Kirby in Florida. Kirby in Florida, you've got a lot of prophecy teachers talking and telling you a lot of different things about these trumpets, these seals, and these vials. And although they came out at different times with the trumpets, you're waiting on the sixth trumpet war now. My Lord coming back is the seventh trumpet, so that's his second coming. So you're already at you've gone through to 5. Number 6 is when is the four angels loosed in the Euphrates rivers. River. So that's your sixth trumpet war that will start World War III, and a third of mankind will be killed. Now, as far as the vials, that is the wrath of God. The first vial will be a globally, because it's everyone that took that mark will then have that plague of those sores and that those ugly. I have seen World War III, and I have seen the 3.5 year tribulation. I can tell you that it's like The Walking Dead. I've never seen The Walking Dead, but I've seen the commercials of people just walking. They're not zombies; they're just begging to die. That's how bad it gets at the end of time. World War III, it's fire, it's smoke, it's brimstone. But World War III is a global conflict. The first vial is a global vial, everyone that took that mark. Now, vial 2 through 5 happens during, and I would tell you very rapidly, consistently, during those last days of those 3.5 years, with vial 6 coming right before the Battle of Armageddon, and then at the 7th vial is the Battle of Armageddon. So the trumpets, the seals, and the vials are all done at the Battle of Armageddon, although the first wrath has not been sent out yet. It's reserved for the people who took the mark. We will get into it in Revelation 16, but remember, after that mark of those vials, then you're specifically talking about that region, the Middle East. You're not going to have hail the size of talents coming down in Arkansas. That's going to be against those armies that are coming down as the Euphrates River has dried up and the armies are coming down to conquer or invade Jerusalem. That's when you're going to start seeing those vials very rapidly approaching, and then when my Lord comes to fight at the Battle of Armageddon, that will be the last vial, the last trumpet, and the last seal. So as far as the globally and regionally, I guess that you would say, those plagues, the first ones, whoever took the mark, and the rest of them would be geographically in that area of Israel proper. Remember, Judea, Samaria, that's the West Bank. When they signed that agreement, my Lord says you got to flee to the mountains, flee everywhere. But Israel proper is going to remain for those 3.5 years. It's going to remain. People are going to be trying to invade it, but it's going to be, the United States is going to help them. My Lord's going to help them. There's going to be 2 witnesses out there that's out preaching and giving momentum to the church. You're going to see a lot of things in those last 3.5 years, but you're also going to see a lot of persecution, a lot of death, a lot of Christians dying and being jailed, even being so deceived and so desperate. But that's the difference in the global seal or vials and the regional. But yes, they end up, one is globally, whoever took that mark, and then 2 through 5 will be during that 3.5 years. 6 will be right before the Battle of Armageddon. 7th will be at the Battle of Armageddon. So I hope that's helped you as far as that's concerned. I will read Revelation 16, at least a portion of it to you, to show you what I'm talking about in that. I believe we can start with the 6th trumpet, or 6th angel. And the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and of the mouth of the beast, and of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air. And there came a great voice of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as not ever been seen upon the earth. So mighty of an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts. The cities of the nations fell. The great Babylon came in remembrance before God, to give unto her cup of wine and of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceedingly great. Now, you're not going to get that hail in Arkansas and Texas, see, but you can see in that 6th vial is talking about the Euphrates River drying up. That 7th is when my Lord comes back and fights at the Battle of Armageddon. So that is a regional conflict. World War III is a global conflict that will set up a one world government and a one world religion. And they will do that everywhere except the United States and Israel. We will not, and Jordan, by the way. Those are the three. But first, you've got to go through a World War III, the sixth trumpet. And now you're looking at Brazil and Russia and India and China and Venezuela, Iran, Saudi Arabia. All of these people is in what they call a BRICS. BRICS is trying to trade all their goods instead of the foreign exchange market in U.S. dollars in their currency. And their currency is a BRIC currency is about, for every $1, about $23.87 of what would be $23.87 of United States dollars at this point. So they're trying to devalue the dollar. They're trying to divide up the country or the world. I believe they have 140 countries. Then you're going to have, that's one side. And then you have the side, which will be the European Union, and the United States. The biggest concern in all of these type of chess match, to me, since I've seen World War III and I've seen the last 3.5 years of that tribulation, is number one, how does Russia get on the same side after World War III to where now it's the European Union against the United States and Israel, the United Nations. The United Nations, the European Union, which will have that, the United Kingdom, which is the lion, Germany, which is the leopard, France, which is the hen. Then you'll have the 10-headed beast of the European Union. You'll have a world leader that will be the false prophet, and you'll have that Antichrist come out of that European Union. I figure he comes out at the end of World War III, making peace with the United Nations, and that's how that happens. But if they sign a two-state solution peace plan before any of that happens, then that's a whole different timeline. Because right now, I can tell you, you've got a minimum of 7 years before my Lord comes back. Why? Well, you've got to have a 7-year temporary peace plan. You've got to have the sixth trumpet, which is World War III. You've got to have built a temple for the Antichrist to stand in 3.5 years into that 7-year temporary peace plan. So the minimum, all these people are talking about, this September 22nd, September 23rd, and they'll do it every year because that's a Jewish holiday. But it's not going to be any time in the next 7 years. You're going to have a whole lot of problems in the next 7 years. But my Lord's not going to be coming back. But tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us. So there's a difference in why you don't wait. And that's the one reason that you don't wait. And you go ahead and you pick a side and join a team and start preparing. But that is Revelation 16. I hope I explained that question to you as far as the vials, since I know a lot of people have, they think the trumpets, the vials, the seals don't come out until to a 7-year tribulation. And they've got that figured out from 2,000 and 2,500 years ago. They're trying to figure out, those kingdoms. But I have had a vision. I do know what those beasts stand for. And I can assure you that it's not the Ottoman Empire or Persia. It's modern day. Daniel was given a vision for the end of times. You're in that season right now. My Lord, in Matthew 24, speaks of Daniel's vision and tells you when it will happen and what has to happen before it happens. And so there's where we are as far as the vials, and whether they're globally or whether they're just in the Middle East. But that first one, whoever's taking that mark, that's who it affects. That's the first vial opening. So thank you for that question. I do appreciate it, Kirby in Florida. Next question. Phee, I've enjoyed your football show. Sir Isaac is the guru after this week. How did you guys meet? Johnny in Arkansas. Johnny, I really like that football show. That's the kind of, I can sing, I can enjoy myself, laugh, joke. It's when you talk about terminal illness and his kingdom is coming and serious things from a global conflict and sometimes you just need a little release. And I've found a couple of ways to do that and get that done. And they've made me happy. I expect to do a lot more of these fun shows as we try to fill up a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week network with bowling, with golf, with cooking, with Mark hiking, and different shows too. But we've got to get the how much better will these shows be when we have the graphics, we have the phone-in calls, and 90% of communication is nonverbal. So for me to talk to you an hour is great with me, but it would be much better for me to have some visual aids, some props, those type of things for you to be able to see as well as well as me, and with all of our different shows. So we're going to continue to get better at all those. Right now it's just kind of a skeleton, bare bones, and that's the way it's going to be until we can get into phase 2. But that's coming, I can assure you. I met Sir Isaac. I've coached kids from first grade all the way through the pros for many, many years. And and I've had 4 children. Isaac is the same age as my oldest son, and so they were good friends. My oldest son had a very select, small group of friends that he really has hung out with from the time he was in the 7th grade all the way to now. He doesn't have 30 or 40 that he hangs out with, but the 4 or 5 that have been really tight for a long time, they can go a year without seeing each other and then get together, and it's just like old times. So Isaac got a great mother and father, has a wonderful sister, and so I've known him since he was a kid. Great athlete. In junior high, immediately saw him, and when I saw him run, big boys like that, they normally don't run like that. He really impressed me with his ability, and most of those junior high coaches just had no idea. They just looked at him and thought, he needs to be on the offensive or defensive line. But that boy's got hands, he's got feet, and he'd surprise you playing basketball. And now they tell me he's quite a pickleball player, so we'll have to see about that. That's something else. I'm putting a pickleball court in the backyard when we show people playing pickleball all the time. We're planning on having a good time, and that's what that football show is all about. It's about me talking about something I have a passion for with somebody that's very good at what he does, and we get along real well. As my kids got older and a lot of them moved off, their friends still came to see me. And a lot of times Isaac moved off, and when he would come back in town to see his mother and father or his sister, then he would always come by and watch football with me. So I've known him a long, long time. Unlike Mark, I've known Mark about a year. And God sent me Mark for a specific reason. And I'm going to continue to bring a lot of young people, from therapists, that have master's degrees from LSU to child experts on a lot of these different issues, and all of them are going to be late 20s to early 30s because that's the group of people that will change the world. Old people control the world, but young people, they change the world, and we're fixing to have the biggest evangelistic movement that this world's ever seen since my Lord's disciples walked the earth. And it's going to be led by young people. It's going to be led. It won't be led by the 61-year-old. I hope to be involved in it. But they've got the energy, and they'll put forth the effort once they get committed to something, you're going to find that these young people are going to get on board real quick, and I'm going to be right there to coach them because that's what I do best. I'm a talent evaluator, and I'm a coach. And so my Lord blessed me with that ability, and I'm thankful to be living to be able to do that for him. And that's my mission. That's my calling. And they can call me whatever they want to, as long as they can call me to dinner, because old Phee plans to eat a little bit. You know, his muscle wasting's got him looking like a stick man. So Fee's trying to get in shape, but he doesn't have a lot of time to do that. But I really enjoy. We get about 50 views on the football show before Thursday to Sunday on YouTube, and we get about 50 on our other platforms combined. To where our other platforms they outperform YouTube 3-1 on my other shows. So I'm glad that we're getting a lot of more traffic, and whatever brings people to the network for them for me to reel them in to trying to coach them and help them with this prophecy is what we're going to do, because this gets very intense and very serious. If you did it all day, every day, without any type of release or enjoyment or fun, I think you'd burn out pretty quickly. I'm not a burnout kind of guy, especially if I am enjoying doing something. I can continue to do it over and over and over and over again, and that's been my MO. But now at this age, if I go play 36 holes of golf and then everybody goes to lunch and then wants to come back and meet at 2, Fee's done. He's spent. Now, if you don't want to go to lunch and you just want to play 90, I'm good. But you don't want me to play a game at 10 and then set till 2 and try to play another one, and then set till 6 and play another one like you would in travel basketball or baseball or softball or volleyball. Back in the day, I'd have played all day, every day, and it wouldn't have bothered me at all to stop and start and stop and start. I've done that in tournaments all my life. I loved it. I loved the downtime between it because I got to think about what we're going to do the next time we played. So, I just loved it. But I'm not there anymore when it comes to once I'm like, my body's like a wet rubber band that's been left out in the sun. I used to could do the splits. Like, you used to could draw a line on the concrete and do a back aerial and land on the line. There's no question that I could run and jump at one time. Now I have a problem trying to get out of bed without hitting the walls in order to go pee at 3 a.m. in the morning. So you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses, and Fee's strengths are now his weaknesses, and his weaknesses are now his strengths. So that's what happens as you get older and have as many injuries as I've had, and as many replacements as they say I need. But I'm thankful to be here because I feel good. Wonder why golf and pickleball don't hurt my shoulder. And I can't shoot a basketball, throw a baseball or football, but I can stay down here or underneath. So that's a weird place. I'm thankful for it. But yes, Sir Isaac put on a show this weekend. Once we can get the best of the week and the worst takes and best takes of the week, I had 2 unbelievably bad takes this week against Isaac, and he just won both of them. And then I had 2 tremendous takes that would beat Isaac. And we could have, when we replay that and show it and talk trash, because I'm just as serious as I can be, and I'm just definitely telling the truth. And then, I don't know what in the world I'm talking about. And 2 games, Clemson playing at Georgia Tech and Texas A&M playing at Notre Dame. And he called them both, not against the spread, but outright money line. And I'm laughing at him. So I'm sure this Thursday at 6:30 p.m., with Fee's Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru, I will then say to him, Guru, you have just one-upped Phee again. And but if I had those clips, see, and with those graphics, you just think it was funny as can be. And, of course, he's going to have them too. And that's the funny part of the shows is when you're wrong. You got to be able to make fun of yourself. If you're going to do this, everybody else is going to make fun of you. Everybody else is going to edit every take and make it look as bad as you look. So you may as well jump out ahead of them. What my daddy would always say, get out ahead of them and control the narrative, get out ahead of them and have fun. and laugh at yourself and enjoy yourself. I've never had any problem with that. I tend to enjoy making people happy. So it's a blessing to me. I hope that we continue to grow that show. I had a young lady tell me that that'll be the show that will grow your audience. I hope she's correct. Whatever it takes, however it takes, is what we need to do. And my Lord will provide the right time and the right resources for us to do anything and everything we need to do. We just got to be able to do our part and have faith. And that's what we're doing here at the Feast Me Network. And I thank you guys for tuning in to the Feast Me Network. So, yes, thank you for the question about Isaac. And he's quite a fine young man. And I've enjoyed spending time with him most of his life, and certainly in the last 15 years. So, yeah, he's a dandy. And thank you for that question, Johnny. Stay tuned this week, too. He'll have some more great upset picks, I guess. I'm winning again into my fantasy league. So he plays in 15 leagues. So I'm sure he'll say he's doing well in other ones. But in the only one I play in, he's not doing that well right now. So anyway, I do appreciate the question, Johnny, in Arkansas. Next question. Phee, I was scrolling and ran across a prophet teaching a pre-tribulation and a post-tribulation rapture occurring. He was quoting scriptures in Revelation that sounded very convincing. How would you respond to that question? Gene in Oklahoma. Gene, I have not seen that. I have heard of the pre-tribulation. I've heard of the mid-tribulation. I've heard of the post-tribulation. I've heard of the preterism that says that the second coming in 70 A.D. That temple was destroyed. That was the mark of it, and they're still teaching some of that when John didn't even get his revelation until 90 A.D., some 20 years later. So you can discount that. How would you combat, or how would I question that? Because, see, you say it's very convincing in Revelations, and that's because if you want to know prophecy, you have to learn Daniel's and Revelations and be able to be able to compare the two. And Daniel's vision at 600 BC compared to John's revelation. So if you do look at that, you'll know that Daniel's it's a very hard book to read because it's not in chronological order. So that throws a lot of people off. And some chapters are overnight, and some chapters are 2,500 years for that vision to transpire. That throws a lot of people off. Remember, I'm not a prophecy teacher. I've never played in this arena. I've had the vision. I have spent the last 2 years and 3 or 4 months now, from June the 24th to September the 15th. So 2 years and 4 months, knowing what was going to happen, and then testing the spirits of my vision by the Word of God. So that's the only prophecy that I would have known. I couldn't have told you one prophecy teacher before 2 years ago. And then I wasn't going to look at any of them for a while because I didn't want to be misled by them, or them to interrupt my train of thought, or for me to question my doctrine and my vision compared to theirs. But after I really was, had really got the main points of it down, I started listening and to people I respected, and they were wrong. And so I even said to my Lord that time, you want me, Lord, to go and tell these folks that are national and worldwide leaders and stuff that are selling books and all kinds of pamphlets and work study books and stuff, commentaries about the end of times, and they're wrong. And he said, yes, I want you to be bold in the Word of God, and I want you to be very humble and get out of the way with your attitude and your arrogance. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm much better because I would just like to say that's wrong. And this is why I know it's wrong. But that makes me sound arrogant, and it makes me, with when you tell people you've had a vision, they think you're crazy. Anyway, in today's day and age, so I wish that wasn't strange anymore, that there's prophets, and when my Lord says there will be false prophets, and there will be young men with dreams or visions, and old men with dreams. So that's just the Word of God. But as far as your a pre-tribulation and a post-tribulation happening or occurring, that would mean that Jesus would be coming more than one more time. That would be his, I guess, second and third coming. Or they could say, like a lot of people, that actually in the last 170 years, that the first pre-tribulation would be the rapture of the church, and then he would come back, I guess, and fight at the Battle of Armageddon. I have not heard of both occurring. I can tell you that Revelation throws most people, especially in the Baptist, Methodist, all of those denominations, they don't understand that it's four different accounts of the same event. They've got him coming back so many times and going back and forth and setting up his that 1,000-year reign, going back after the Battle of Armageddon, and it's just four different. In every chapter of Revelations, you're going to find, from 5 on, you're going to have different accounts that of the same event being shown from a trumpet, a vials, a seal standpoint, from the beast, but the way I would answer that, as plain and simple as I could do it, why I know there's not a pre-tribulation and a post-tribulation, would be because of what Jesus said in Matthew 24. And Jesus says immediately after the abomination of desolation, then these things will occur. And so if you want to go to Matthew 24, 19 through 32, I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Matthew 24, and it's 29 through 32. This is Jesus speaking, the coming of the Son of Man. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, as they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. That's how I know there's not a pre-tribulation rapture and a post-tribulation rapture, because Jesus says immediately after the tribulation. See, that will be before the Battle of Armageddon, after the tribulation, right as it looks bleak for Israel. A portion of the south portion will fall, and then with the sound of a mighty trumpet, the elect will be gathered, the saints, the children of God. He's coming with his rewards. He will give us our rewards. We will come back in immortal bodies and fight with him at the Battle of Armageddon. And I don't know what that looks like. I do know that he's going to set up his 1,000-year reign, and when people ask, how's this earth going to make it, because it's going to be in bad shape after World War III, and then 3.5 years of this tribulation, which you're going to see people getting killed like you wouldn't believe. And this Holocaust of 6 million Jews is nothing to what's coming in the future. The whole world's going to be turned against the Jews. That's scriptural. That's going to happen in the basic instructions before leaving Earth. So, and I have seen both World War III and the 3.5 year tribulation. So, I definitely can tell you that it's rough, and it is ugly, and it happens. And so let's prepare for it. But there's no pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, and there's no preterism. It's my Lord is coming for his second coming. He ain't coming halfway and then going back. He's coming in one simultaneous event. 4 different accounts of the same event. And it just keeps flowing. It doesn't stop and go back and start and go back. That's not the way it works. It's one simultaneous event, but it's 4 different accounts of that event in Revelation. So if you don't understand Daniel and how to read it, and you don't understand Revelations and what they're trying to show you with all the symbolism and John's vision, then you're looking at a difficult time for people that grab hold or grasp just a little truth, and they think they believe it, and then they go with it. And then people hear it and they believe it, and then they go with it. And then people hear it and they go with it, and they hear, and you know, it just over a period of time, you just have no idea. So I stopped watching any or listening to anything come prophecy-wise until I got on the air with on May the 27th of this year. Now I spend a lot of time listening to what other people are doing in my, I guess you'd call it, in my sandbox now, since I've dipped my toes in it and I'm fixing to get knee deep in it. And before it's over with, I'll be swimming in it, rascal. So I do pay attention now. I am in the right algorithms on this phone because I can go almost every one is a live report that's not really live. It could have been live 2 months ago, and it could have been live 2 weeks ago, and it could have been live 2 hours ago. But then you go to all these different prophecies, and you know the world's going to end in September 23rd of 2025, and then you had the blood moon, and then you've got such and such with the aliens and an asteroid coming and Earth, and so many earthquakes now these days. Now you've got the whole portion of the world burning in forest fires, and nobody even bringing it up. Don't even see it on the news. But you got forest fires in Turkey that's been going on for 6 and 8 weeks, and you've got forest fires in different types, portions that you're not even hearing about them, that are just huge forest fires. So between the earthquakes and the forest fires, you never can tell what's going on there. What I would have thought just was a streak of natural disasters is no longer what I believe. I do believe it's weather manipulation, and other people have an agenda and a plan, and they can use the weather in order to help their side. That's what they're going to do, and that seems like to me that's what they've been doing. But anyway, that's Matthew 24 should answer your question, Gene, about that. There's got to be a lot of events take place before my Lord comes back. You have to know that there's lots of things that have to happen. He's not coming before the 6th trumpet because he's the 7th trumpet. So you've got World War III when a third of mankind is killed, and a lot of people think those 4 angels were loosed in Euphrates River during that 12-day Israel-Iran conflict, because that's the region, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey, is the Euphrates River that those angels are loosed in. So a lot of people think they're already loosed, and it just takes time, with this meeting with the Shanghai Corporation, and then that had to take place to where you've got India and Russia and Iran and North Korea and China and Brazil and Venezuela all on one side, and then you've got France and England, Germany, and European Union, all of the Finland. I mean, all of the European countries, Ukraine, and the United States will be fighting on that side. And where World War III will start out of the Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey region. Now, has it already started, and all these other conflicts are going to be adding to it? I don't know. But remember, World War III is a global. You don't kill a third of mankind with a regional war. I have seen it. It's a lot of fire, a lot of smoke, and a lot of brimstone, and there's a whole lot of death, folks, and it's ugly. But no, Gene, you're just gonna have to go to Matthew 24 and just read what Jesus says, because anybody can dispute Phee if they want to, but it's hard for the most prominent evangelist in the world to oppose Jesus or try to explain that away. And they don't try to explain it away. They try to say that the rapture's already happened, and this is the wrath of God, and this is what happens during that 7-year tribulation period. That's the wrath of God. And remember, it's a 3.5 year tribulation period that's the wrath of Satan. So it's a 7-year temporary peace plan that the Antichrist breaks halfway into that peace plan. And that is Daniel's talking about his last week, which a week is a year. So halfway into those 7 years is 3.5 years. And that Antichrist will stand in that rebuilt temple. He will stop those sacrifices. He will break that covenant. The false prophet will rain fire down from heaven. They'll do all kinds of miraculous works. He will be completely consumed by Satan, and they will spend the next 3.5 years, because they know their time is short, deceiving and killing and persecuting and jailing Christians. So you be thankful you're in the United States. You're going to have all kinds of problems with this civil unrest, cyber attacks, terrorist attacks. They're going to try to get us. We got problems with Mexico. We got problems with Canada. Those are the two weakest parts we've got right now. We're thankful to have those oceans on both sides of us, east and west. But when most of these drug cartels are in Mexico, and we're fighting Venezuela, because people think that's how China's getting those drugs into Mexico, is through that Latin American country. So you're fixing to have a real problem in that area too, because there's way too much money at stake for people just to act like that's not a big deal. So there's another conflict. But thank you so much. I would go the way I combat that, Gene, is just go right to Matthew 24 verse 29 and read what Jesus says immediately after the tribulation. So I do appreciate that question. Next question. Phee, what are your thoughts on which conflict in the world will start World War III? Again, World War III is about the world dividing up. I'm short on. Jerry, I can't read what you're saying, Bubba. Let me find out if I can help you here. No, can't do that. Well, I wish I could read. Phee, I'm short on money right now. A blank advice. Is that? Let's see if I can move that. Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jerry. Phil, I'm short on money right now. Any advice? Yes. Gold. If you got any money to buy gold, Jerry. If you don't have any money to buy gold, buy silver. If you don't have any money to buy silver, sell property because it's at an all-time high compared to what it's going to be when these things start happening. Those are three advices. And then, of course, on the funny side, Jerry, everybody's short on money right now until they're not. So I've been on both ends of that spectrum too, and it's always a lot more fun to be on the spectrum where you don't have to worry about what you're spending compared to, if I run out now, where am I going to get the next money from? So I get that. If you got assets, no problem. If you don't, then I get the concern and the worry. Remember, I'm not one to be telling you. I'd have told you a long time ago that always invest for the future. Now, I don't think you need to be storing up a bunch of goods in the storehouse. I think you ought to prepare for the next 3 years, and after that, readjust my investing, readjust my future plans based on those events and the current environment of which you're living. Remember, you're gonna wake up one day and your world's gonna have changed forever, and every day that goes by is just one day closer to that happening. And you're in a real tough situation when it comes to food, water, utilities, communications. If you don't have finances, then you'll understand why that my Lord had 1 out of every 6 verses in the New Testament, Matthew to Revelation, is 18.8% or 18.3% is about money. Because remember, if you owe money, you're a slave to that debtor. And I just never took that real serious when I was trying to grow a business. As I get older, I do understand that, and now as I see what's happening in the future, I can certainly understand the meaning of that much more now. It's important. It's not how much money you're making per se, is how safe you are and how much money do you owe. Because people will tend to come get their stuff, assets, and sell them for pennies on the dollar when they're desperate. That's why pawn shops are in business. And so don't think banks or insurance companies or people that hold assets won't take huge losses if necessary to stay afloat. Back to this question, what are your thoughts on which conflict in the world will start World War III? I will tell you that the conflict that either has started World War III was out of Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey, was the Israel-Iran 12-day war. Or what makes more sense to me, and I might be in the minority, is that once the United Nations here in about a week approve this two-state solution, that then they will move forward with all of those types of what they need to do in the meantime. They've already got the votes. They'll make that a public, and then the folks will either vote on it then and it'll be approved, or they'll do that on the next week, and then they'll have to sign and be approved. They'll work through their procedures and policies, and in the meantime, before September, where they propose it, and when they vote on it and implement it, I think you'll find a conflict started by who knows, but in that Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey region. So whether that's the United States, again in Iran, whether that's Israel, whether that's Iran bombing Israel or trying to, whether Iran tries to send a nuclear weapon over there because they've got China and Russia's back, or as their backs, their allies, along with India. Where it will start is it will start out of the Iraq, Iran, Syria, Turkey, but it will involve the world, and there will be two sides. And the United Nations, the United States, and the United Nations, that side wins World War III, because the Antichrist is coming up from the European Union. So the European Union win World War III with the United States as part of those allies. We win that, and then as he comes up on peace, at platform of peace, is revered. 3.5 years they try to implement the mark of the beast and all of the United Nations after World War III. then you'll find out how much of the United States will fall, what shape we'll be in with the cyber attacks, terrorist attacks, with the civil unrest, with the paid, very organized left wing that wants to really destroy America. I saw another graph today where all the huge gun murders and gun violence are in all the cities that have the least amount of guns. All the areas in the South and in the West, they've got the most guns and they have the least crime. So, again, just a geopolitical and a geographic graph of showing why the National Guard needs to be where they're going to be, because this country's fixing to be on a lot of civil turmoil and unrest, and what's going on in the world, and why everybody's focused on Charlie and his death and that political suicide and that martyring of him. There are things around the world that are going on that people in the United States aren't focused on or aren't hearing about. But these conflicts aren't going away. You got a lot of them laying in the weeds waiting for their opportunity. And something will start it, something will instigate it, and then you'll hear about it, and it probably won't be the truth when you hear about it. It'll probably be a version of the truth. But whatever they say, whatever they do, doesn't matter to us or me or you. We're gonna focus on the United States standing with Israel and protecting our home country. We've got to work on the Mexican border and the Canadian border, and pay our National Guard, because World War III is the sixth trumpet war that kills a third of mankind. Where does it start? It starts out of the Euphrates River region. Has it already started? I don't know. But there will be two sides, and the European Union, the United States, and Europe, they win. Now, how Russia gets on that side with them, be interesting to see how those pieces fall. But again, I do not see China anywhere in the end times. So that he is not the dragon or the red dragon, as I've been asked before. There is no duality there in meaning from the Chinese government and Satan. That's two separate things. But I do hope I answered your question there, John from Kentucky. I do appreciate that. I hope I answered that question as much as I could, because I really don't know what country, or I just know the region, and I don't know the order, but I know the end result. So that's I don't want to mislead you, but I do think that I definitely know where the conflict starts, and I do know who's going to be playing and who wins, if that helps. So I do appreciate that question, Johnny from Kentucky. As we continue to talk about how we want to party like it's 1999, the Prince was one of my favorite dudes. He's about 5'3", but he used to could dance unbelievable, and he had these shoes that have glass slippers in them with goldfish in them, and I loved Prince. I loved the colors, and I liked how he could dance, and he was a great dude. But I remember when that song came out as a senior in high school, and I thought 17 years from now, man, that's a long time. And we're going to party like it's 1999. And now it's 2025, and I believe that you're going to want to see from 1999, 26 years later to 2025, how that cultural shift has changed in a quarter of a century, 25 years, a quarter of a century. How many lives will be changed in the next 25 years? Because, folks, if I had to put a time on anything, it would be in that 10 to 15 year range. I would never go over 15 years. I can put a minimum of it to 7, and my best guess is it would be my Lord will be setting up his kingdom before it was 15 years from now. But I don't know that. I just know that I'm pretty good at math and science. And so he's not coming before every one of these prophecies are fulfilled. He's not coming but once. When he endures to the end, we endure to the end immediately after the tribulation. That's when he's coming. And that's when we'll party like it's 1999 forever, for eternity. That's the great reset. This world is not going to be in good shape, and he's going to put it right back where he wants to put it for that 1,000-year reign. And then remember, then you start talking about Satan's released. There's no big war. You got the white throne judgment, but he comes out, and then my Lord just destroys everything and it's over with. And we just move on to the next heaven and the earth and spend an eternity however he wants us to do it. So won't that be a great day as we fly away? So I appreciate you guys enjoying spending some time with me on a Monday night with Night with Phee. Tune into Feast Me Network every day, and we'll go live anytime we need to with news that's pressing. Fee's here. And remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing. Night, guys.